Okay. Good afternoon, loves. My name is Isis. Welcome back to the book of Genesis, where we have all kinds of little readings, discussions, all that fun stuff. Today, what we're going to be focusing on, actually, though, is a reading for all of my folks who are ushering in this time of transformation. So, all of you mediums, psychics, practitioners, spiritualists, empaths, everyone who has been through their own dark night of the soul, who is able to carry and transmute this energy. Any of you who are teaching at this time, basically all of us who know how to work with death and trauma and darkness and turn it into something. This reading is for you. So my guess is that a lot of you who watch the Lilith videos, and maybe who keep up with the afterlife care videos or the displaced dead videos will check into this. Otherwise, welcome to any and everyone new. This reading was actually inspired by Isis, who popped up in our last goddess guidance pick a card. At the time, I think I said, I just caught 111. At the time, I said, I don't really know why Isis is showing up. About a week later, she came to me and was like, you're stepping into a new role, not as much with Lilith, but more with me, where we're moving into a mothering space. And this makes sense because I'm entering my 4th house perfection year next year. But what I wanted to say about that is, it also tells me that what we're moving into collectively is more about, for some of us, nurturing. So I've been saying a lot this year that 2020 is about you, 2021 is going to be about you and how you show up in community. So yes, stepping in your purpose, yes, being aligned, yes, making sure to uphold your boundaries, but doing so in a way that is helpful and honoring to the community. So for example, if 2020 has been about me releasing everything that's untrue or that's not aligned with this work, 2021 is more of me doing things like this, like being in that purpose for others. I say that to say, Lilith, if we're keeping up with the way I do things, Lilith was that independence and breaking away. Isis now is using that transformational magic, and mothering, nurturing, bringing back, right? She resurrected Osiris. She had to make him a new dick or find one, but she resurrected Osiris. That's mad power. Isis is stupid powerful. That's the kind of energy that we're bringing right now. That's the kind of energy that's here right now. So that's what's needed. Depth, strength, transformation. The mother goddess is not calm. No disrespect to Mary, because I love her, but the way they show Mary Mother, I got my little statue of her over there, that's why I'm pointing. The way they show Mary Mother of God is to completely strip her of her sexuality, and then they give her counterpart, Mary Magdalene, not shit. They deny her of her sacredness. So what we're bringing is neither one of those partial images. We are bringing the full image, okay? This work is bringing the fullness of the whole Mary, of the whole Isis, of the whole Lilith, of the whole every goddess. I use those 3 as references because those are 3 that I know well and work with. So yes, this energy is about bringing fullness. It's about birthing. The dark night of the soul, it's a death and it's a birth at one time. So other goddess energies I would see here would be like Freya, Inanna, Ereshkigal, Persephone. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I know Oya is a very, very fierce goddess. I know she's a goddess. She's an Orisha. She's not the exact same. It's not all the same. So many different terms for different people. Different pantheons and energies. Forces of nature versus personifications. But the crux of it is dark goddess energy. Okay. This feels like a meeting. I know this reading is not for everyone. Alright, my loves, this is actually going to be a Celtic cross spread, which I don't usually do. I don't usually do spreads at all for the most part. But this is immediately what was shown. So please know, this of course is not going to, gonna be perfect to each person's life. This is an overall about these topics. We have a couple flyers already, and I'm just going to read those before I actually pull the cards, the other ones. So, and I didn't even do a prayer yet, but let me hop into the flyers. We'll do the prayer, and we'll do the quick Celtic cross, and we'll get out of here. Like I said, this is only for probably a handful of people, 20, 30 people. Shit, could be 40. I don't know. I don't know how far the reach is going to be. But anyway, if you know that this is for you, if you know that you are doing this ushering in work for people, this transformative work for yourself and other people, let's get into it. The first card is the Five of Wands. That's one that just flipped right out. December is starting off like with an eclipse. Like we have an eclipse on November 30th with a full moon in Gemini. Now, that moon in Gemini is going to be a lot about communication and community, but this Five of Wands to me with this eclipse says there's going to be a lot of stuff spouting off that didn't need to be said. So really take a minute to pause. I was talking about pause earlier. I'm going to have a word about pause. I sat in on a conversation on Clubhouse about it today. It was revolutionary to me. Taking a second to sit back and discern is going to be key. This doesn't mean sit out everything, but pay attention to where drama is, pay attention to where lower vibration thoughts are. You don't have to respond to everything, and being somebody who is knowledgeable or who has gifts to share still doesn't mean that you have to prove yourself by responding. Not every situation is going to be for you, not every dialogue is for you. This Five of Wands to me is talking about change. You see they're all fighting. It low-key makes me think of Kill Bill. When they're in Japan, like in the restaurant fighting. That's what it makes me think of. And it's kind of like some of this is futile. It's fucking futile. Let's not do it. That's really all it is there. Let's not do the fighting. Let's not do the bickering. So when it comes to, and I'll like add to this, but this is just the first card that comes up. It really feels like stay away from mental gymnastics. Do not put your brain through hoops. This is a time to be sitting, to be discerning. Where you feel moved to speak, speak. Where you feel stirred to rest, rest. Don't overdo it. The two cards that came with the Five of Wands, they were flipped upside down under the Five of Wands. So let's see what that five is kind of illuminating. We have the Seven of Pentacles and Judgment. Could not have said better what I already said. Let's not play mental gymnastics. This time period is a lot about judgment. That judgment is there because a lot of people are meeting themselves. They're meeting not meeting their expectations of themselves as in making them, but actually coming face to face with them. And that's what judgment is, right? It's coming face to face with ourselves, face to face with our situations, and being accountable. That Seven of Pentacles is kind of showing that yes, things have been fruitful, or that there's a lot of them, but it's not all wanted, or that the figure here isn't completely happy with what they've grown. So if you're dealing with right now any kind of imposter syndrome, feeling like you have not really caught the wave like you thought you should have, feeling like you're behind, like you're not going to be heard, or like other people's stuff is like stronger, like what you've done isn't really actually anything, take a second and step back, because that's not true. Yes, there may be things you wanted to do better, there may be things you could have done better, but you are where you are right now. You're learning what you're learning right now. You need time to have that judgment. It's not a negative thing necessarily. It's just some time to sit with yourself and hear and understand and reflect. So that Five of Wands, my loves, if that's you, take a second, pull back, release, surrender, rest, journal, and then hop into it. Because who you are and what you have to offer is beautiful. What you love right now is beautiful. What nourishes you right now is good. There is no reason to rush where you're going or who you're becoming. If you rush that, you'll miss 3/4 of the lessons along the way, and it'll be an empty thing at the end. So take time now to dissect, to reflect, to understand. Be made full now by what's available to you, so that you can bring in more of what you want and level up in a healthy timed way. The other three cards to hop out really quick were the Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Tower. And they all came out together. So we have that Knight of Pentacles. I'm for real gonna get another camera one day, you guys, so I can like do two angles. The Two of Swords there. And we have the Tower there. I'm still getting the hang of that light. But the Tower was the first one I saw. These cards had actually fallen onto the floor. The Tower was the first one I saw, and every time I read the Tower, one thing always stands out to me, and it is that crown being exploded, right? This is our whole mindset being exploded. This is everything coming up. If we wanted to be extra, we could stick with the 2020 and like coronavirus being like Corona, the crown, the emperor year. All of our structures are being completely out the window. Fuck what you thought. It is not that. That's what 2020 has done. So, the other thing though that I'm thinking of here that I'm noticing more than I usually care to pay attention to is where is like this stabbing. Right now that figure is being stabbed right in the middle. She's literally being ripped in half. Like her center is being pierced. Like for a lot of people right now, this is what things feel like. They're very visceral. They're very confusing. It's a trying time. I don't feel like this card applies to you all specifically who I'm talking to, but to those. So these might be your clients, your friends, your family members, that, you know, that person that you've connected with online somewhere that's getting started. Be mindful of the fact that yes, they are like finally getting on board. Yes, stuff is coming through, but also for a lot of people, they have not had the inklings that you've had. Like, I don't know, Spirit's been my life my whole life. This is very naturally it. I've always done this kind of thing. There are people who are somewhat interested, who have like had crystals here and there, have gotten readings here or there. They're a little bit into it. But for a lot of folks, they're not into it at all. They haven't been thinking about it at all. To them, crystals and cards and self-accountability are as far apart from one another as oil and water. Realistically, they all go together. Our emotional growth and our spiritual growth can go together. And in the coming times, they will. They've always been like one, but spiritual stuff is raising up and that veil is continually getting thinner. So a lot of the people that you're dealing with or will dealing with are not as sensitive as you are yet or have not felt these things yet. It's really people coming from like lower vibrations, which doesn't mean like they're bad or negative, but just their understanding level where they're operating. Like we have to remember that we're meeting people where they are, not trying to drag and yank them up to where we are. If we're going to be teachers, if we're going to be guides, we have to be able to pace that, okay? So that is hugely important. The other two cards there, though, were the support cards for that tower. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. So the Knight of Pentacles, it's not all about money, okay? Purpose is a big part of this. Money is great. Money comes, money stays. It's the resource in our world, in our society currently, that buys food, that pays for rent, whatever, but it is not the only resource. Money cannot take a fucking nap for you. Money cannot actually feed you a meal. It can buy one, but it can't cook it for you. It cannot experience for you. Money is not the energy of joy. Joyful energy might attract money, right? But it's not exactly the same. When I see this Knight of Pentacles, I really feel like I need to remind some up and coming or burgeoning readers and spiritual teachers, and of course if I'm reading it then I will include myself in the message, but readers and spiritual teachers, that it's very much about service and purpose, not about money. It's very easy to monetize things, it's very easy to sell something, but to actually do what makes you happy, to do what ignites your soul, is where the most return is going to be, the most exposure is going to be, the easiest work is going to be, but also where the money is going to come without you having to work as hard for it. Why are we busting our ass for money that we don't even like? When I was working not like a 9 to 5, I worked early ass in the morning, but even though I liked what I did because I was caring for people, I'm very passionate about care, I did not like going to work. I did not like being on someone else's time. So that money I was making was not money that I liked. It was just the necessity. That conversation I was on earlier, a woman spoke named Chase, and she was like, people aren't paying you for your time, they're to be there. They're paying you to keep you from doing what you want to be doing. A whole lot of us are making minimum wage or barely more than that to be doing what? Not spending time on our own passions and projects. So having money as the center of any spiritual practice or any spiritual business even is not going to serve you. You will fade away. And if your concern is mainly money, if your concern is networking, if it's just being out there, then you know what? Okay, maybe that's you. Think about it for a while. Maybe you do just love, a particular type of guidance. Maybe you really want to do, well, actually, no, never mind. If you want to be in this field, don't ever do it just for don't even let money be one of the main motivators, because it shouldn't be. If you want to do love readings, do it because you love seeing a person fall in love with themselves and then attract that other kind of person. If you want to be someone who specializes in in some kind of mediumship, then it needs to be because you are very passionate about those connections being made, about, you know, possible closure happening that involves two parties, because, you know, really it's mainly one party closure in the world. But anyway, make it something that you're passionate about. Make it something that you're passionate about. That Knight of Pentacles requires you to be passionate about what you're doing and to care about it. Pentacles are not a fast-moving suit. If you're trying to make this into just a job, it's not. It is a lot more than that, and it will change as times go on. Just because right now we're here having this conversation about it being working with dark goddess energy and dark mother energy and ushering in this birth for people, it doesn't mean it will always be that. At some point, it's going to be teaching people how to live freely. It's going to be teaching people who are having their first couple of awakenings that it's okay to stumble as you go. It's going to be teaching people how to live with excess as opposed to nothingness. So this is a growing thing. This is a long-term thing. The last card in this little chunk here was the Two of Swords. Okay? Discernment, choice, trust. Her eyes are blindfolded, so she can't look at what's around her. And the water is behind her and the moon. And the water is a little choppy. The moon is waxing. So there's growth happening. We're inviting new things in. Emotions are shifting around a little. But when it comes down to the execution, you have to trust yourself. She could put the swords down, uncover her eyes if she wanted to. Her hands aren't all tied up. It's all about choice and trusting yourself. No move will be made until you decide what to do. Be it blindly swing, put one sword down and hold one in case you need to be cautious, to just put them both down and uncover your eyes, whatever it is, you have to decide to move forward. You have to make the choice. Nobody else can make it for you. And on top of that, personal discernment here is key. You can't be waiting for somebody else to know better or expecting that somebody else will know better, that what they have to say is more worth it or not, like more worth than what you have to say. Like, sometimes I'll be reading these cards and I get messages with the cards and I'm like, does this message even coordinate to the card, or did the card just jumpstart whatever messages were coming through? Anyway, I digress. Listen to yourself. Trust yourself. Practice discernment. Make a choice for yourself. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to create? Do not blindly follow the trends. Please do not blindly follow the trends, because you will get yourself fucked up out here. It's just not smart. Not at this, I want to say this juncture. Not at this time. Definitely trust yourself and make discerning moves so that you are doing what you need to do and want to be doing next year. That was already 20 minutes. I am going to do a very, very brief pull, not a Celtic cross like I said, because so much of that message came out. Actually, never mind, so much of that message came out there. We have the Ten of Swords coming out. There is something coming to an end. If you are in this group that you feel like you should be guiding and teaching and working with this rebirth process, there's two things I'm feeling with this Ten of Swords. So I think there are two groups here. Yep. And we got the Eight of Swords. So group number one, like, sit out this eclipse and maybe work on the next eclipse. Like, group number one feels like the more beginner group. Please, 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 this time around, be uplifting to your friends, your family, your community members. Be offering prayer if that's your thing. If there's a lane that you are already kind of mastering, like if you create oils or something, you know, give those to your friends and family members. But don't start anything new. Allow whatever is ending to end during this cycle in your life. let's see, the Eight of Swords is also there, and for group 2 is where I am going to put that one. I don't know if we have a third group or not, but I think we do. Actually, we do. Never mind. So that Eight of Swords is our second group there, and this is for folks who are not quite starting out, but don't feel proficient in whatever their path is yet, or particularly comfortable or established all the way in their path yet. In this case, we're getting a lot of these swords. Again, this is going to be a heavy time these next couple weeks. Please be kind to yourself and avoid the mental gymnastics, like I said at the beginning of this reading. That Eight of Swords, we're getting similar imagery to the two, but in this case, her hands are bound, and now she has no option but to trust herself. So, you all in pile number 2, whatever is going on, your 10 of Swords has already passed. Whatever that big ending is, has probably already happened or is in the motion of ending. This could have been a breakup. It could be leaving a job. It really, though, in this year, feels like the space between deciding that you know you're more and that you want more and leaving behind fear. And I can tell you right now that this reading is going to be about leaving behind fear and accepting these paths. So yeah, Eight of Swords, second group, those of you who are in that middle space, get comfortable. Trust your intuition. The land for her to walk on is actually the water right there. The swords are in all the land. That mental issue is all in the material. But that water is where she's going to walk out. The spiritual and emotional is where that outlet and understanding are going to come. So really taking some time to sit and pause, reflect, do some divination for yourself, book a reading with somebody that you trust. But you will be needing to take action. You will need to make a choice coming up. The final group is group 3. The Two of Pentacles. There, I love this one. This is for everybody really stepping into their roles. If this is not you, please don't rush yourself. Please, 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 please. I say this because I'm the type who would rush myself. If this was me seeing this reading a year ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, I would be like, whoop, I'm group 3. It doesn't mean that I'm not group 3, but I don't start out there. So you might be somebody who really is all that. Not might, I'm sure you are. But you have to give yourself the time to start and to learn. So anyway, group 3, this is for my people who, you are in your shit, you know it, okay? We're talking to the dead, we're transmuting shit, we're doing group protection rituals for other people, you have a long client list, whatever. None of those markers are actually like, having a big client list or doing something for years doesn't make you better. But I say what I say because I have practiced magic for a long time, and I've done things from broken places and from inexperienced places, and now I'm doing everything after several intense years of emotional work and relearning and unlearning, and I want you to be doing the best and most effective work for you at your pace, and not at the pace that you think you should have, but at the pace the divine has timed out for you. So without further down, we got the High Priestess and the Nine of Swords coming out. Without further ado, I was going to shuffle these 9 more times, but I'm not. My goddess Isis, let us receive this message. Damn, I just caught the Moon and the High Priestess. Oh yeah. I love this so much, you guys. Sorry, don't mind me. Okay, so the foundation of this is the moon. Damn it. There we go. The moon. And I love that. The foundation is exploration. The foundation is the intuition, uncovering what has not been shown all the way, what hasn't been seen or heard. It also, to me, is talking about diving into the sacred feminine and to the Dark Mother and all of this good energy that has been so completely demonized and vilified over the years, right? So this is about uplifting the Dark Mother. So if you are watching this video, then yay, I think we are all going to be part of a lovely little coven one day, because I just have videos like this to do. So the significator here for all of us is the Hermit. All right. In this case, we are not looking at the Hermit just as taking time for the self, because yes, that is what's happening right now. But we're also looking at the Hermit in the other ways that people might see it in society, right? A hermit is often seen as wise. Maybe they're living off in a swamp or in a mountain somewhere. There's usually some kind of divine truth that they understand through their isolation from humanity. So what this is actually talking about is the fact that each of us carry energies from not being wholly a part of society in some way, be that from our own belief or what society kind of, maybe if they like excluded us in some way. I've said before that I think a lot of people on this path are going to be trauma survivors and thrivers, going to be people who have been through different abuses. And I really feel that strongly here. Also, any of you who for a very long time have been hearing spirits, seeing things, just anybody who falls into that energy, I feel that right now. That's who we are. That's where we are. The energy covering us or crossing us is the Five of Pentacles. And I like this a lot because it feels very much like transformation or like a small death, but not like one that we are actually bearing. We've been through all of this before, at least a couple times for most of us. Now other people are going through it. Like I said, this Five of Pentacles feels like change. And what I did not anticipate saying is that it feels like change of wealth. So for some of us, even though I just made sure to put all the extra words on not doing this just for money, get compensated though. I do feel like there is money here for those of us who are meant to be doing this as a business. Obviously don't have money as the focus, but it feels like the world is going to be looking for the people who can be their guideposts and their lights and their roadmaps at this time. The other thing here, though, is grounding throughout change. So how can you provide grounding throughout change for others? Now, you might, again, be somebody who makes items, who can give oils to somebody, who can gift things. I'm, like, doing these kind of readings, raffling some readings. I have clients that are booking. But what can you be giving? It's easy. It's as easy as offering a prayer. It's as easy as waking up and offering a prayer. And if you don't have it in you to offer to somebody else, how can you show space for yourself with this Five of Pentacles energy, with this transformation energy? Sometimes just being the only person in a household, holding space like this can make a huge difference. And for some reason, I'm picturing like a teenager, like late teens is at home right now, that might see this, like a young woman, and it feels like the people in your space might not be aware of what heaviness is around them, or even just like if it's stagnant in your home. Don't be afraid to be the person making that change. Don't be afraid to be the person that's a little weird in the family, especially if you are anyway, because a lot of us are. A lot of us in this line of work have been the black sheep. Not everyone, blessedly, but a lot of us. So don't be afraid to step into that and to bring more of those changes. I really like that the card came out with the people, like the figures facing up, as opposed to this way, because I like to pay attention to all the positioning. It feels like people are moving upward. When I see faces pointing up, it feels like hope. We're turning to the heavens. So there's definitely a lot of change there. At the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. Now, a lot of times you might read this as the recent past. I'm not reading this as the recent past. I was just told to lay the cards out this way. The Four of Wands, the Sun, the Seven of Swords, and the King of Cups surround our significator and what's crossing. So I'm going to take those as what's needed for support here. And whatever group 1, 2, or 3 you were, you can apply this reading to your group. So the Four of Wands, again, Wands has to do with spirituality, with creativity, with our ideas, with passion. Fours have to do with stability, with wealth, with, building. And a whole lot of this year has been people building up their spiritual knowledge banks, building up our toolkit, having that ready, having that enthusiasm, having a good idea of what you've learned is going to be very helpful for, the coming year, the coming weeks, and the coming year for people. So if you're in group 1, for example, and you're kind of just getting started, a really good way to implement this Four of Wands is going to be to take some time to journal about what your spiritual practice has been this year, how you might want to grow, what you're interested in, and then, contacting an elder, somebody that you like, somebody that you reach out to, that you look up to, that you've learned from, letting them know, giving them some gratitude, holding some light for them, And if the situation comes up, you can share some of what you've learned with another person. That's a really great way to build a foundation. Gratitude, communication, exchange of ideas really fosters a whole group style of communication and abundance as opposed to just one person. So, like, each one teach one. We can't all teach everybody everything, and I'm not an expert at everything, but if there's one thing I know, then it is one thing that I will teach. So let's go ahead and, pass that on. The next card to come out is the Sun, right? And we have that, and if you were reading this traditionally, it would be in the recent past, which is talking about, in this case, purification, abundance, life, joy. But what I'm feeling, like I said, is that this is not the past. We're reading these all as helpful elements. So bringing in that sun energy. Group 2, I'm looking at you for bringing in this sun energy. So this is for those of you who have already been on this path, for a little while. Maybe this is like year 1, year 2. Maybe you were already getting started and COVID really cemented it. I want y'all to start looking at ancestral work. If you aren't already practicing ancestral veneration, but you've had like a couple readings here and there, you've done some manifesting, go on ahead and start setting up a regular altar, okay? Being in tune with your ancestors is going to help you be in tune with the most beneficial practices for you. A good space to be is with them. When you've already been doing some magic and you're finding your interest, you want to make sure that you are aligning yourself with the most helpful protective energy. So working with your ancestors, working with your dead, working with just with yourself and your desires is going to be most helpful. That is where the most illumination is going to come for you. That is where the most clarity, understanding, and growth are going to come for you. At this time, when it comes to helping other people, being a light in your community, Group 2, this Sun card, again, is for you in that you can bring passion. People who are at the beginning in your space have some of the most passion. Like, okay, I've got some readings, I'm super excited, I'm learning about some pantheons, like I fixed a little couple candles. Like, you have that fire because you're so excited about every possibility that you have. So you can share that, you can share your joy, you can share your passion. We're talking about Pisces, Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Aquarius, all mashed together with like a Leo face. I know that was a lot, that was a jumble, but like, we're trying to bring inventive, curious, happy, loving, fiery energy, okay? Again, not everybody has to be gloom and doom. We don't all have to be, death workers or transmuting things. We don't all have to be making something. There are people who are just full of love and brightness and curiosity, and it is okay. If you are feeling light at this time as opposed to dark and heavy, that is okay. Be you. Bring your questions out. Ask for clarification. Ask for purification. Do purification rituals. Spiritual baths. Make some teas. Pierce oranges with cloves and hang them up in your house. That's like a thing I would do here in my area because it's like near Christmas time. But it's also something uplifting. So look into road openers. Maybe make your, get some Van oil, something like that. But bring in sunny energy. Damn, it's already 30 minutes. I was trying to keep this short. I love you guys so much. I was for real trying to keep this short. We have the 7 of Swords crowning us here. So we hopped out into this reading straight away with the 5 of Wands, and the 7 of Swords is giving me very similar energy. However, instead of fighting here, she looks like she's getting away with something, but she's not looking where she's going. I know that they're not the same card. I know that they don't look the same, but I swear to God, they give the same energy. Please do not play mental gymnastics. Please do not make moves before you actually know all the pieces, before you know all the key players. This 7 of Swords is here. Yeah, she's real cute getting away from the house, but she's carrying a bunch of swords, wearing some little pedal pushers and some high heels, walking into the woods in the dark without looking where she's going. I don't see a phone. I don't see any food. I don't see any damn gym shoes. Why are you trying to run into something that you aren't ready for? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Practice protection. Practice discernment. Practice being smart. If it threatens your health or safety, it's not smart. If it threatens the health or safety of your friend or family member, it's not smart. So all of us, Group 1, 2, and 3, this is about speaking safety and encouraging safety and community in our groups, okay? Right now, it's COVID time. It's crazy racist out here. Let's not be stupid. Uplift one another. Check on one another. Make sure people are eating. Make sure they got their phones. Make sure they have masks. Make sure that they are not crying and stressing and trying to run out of one situation without looking into the next one they're going into. It's very easy to make desperate moves, desperate situations when you are going through a tough time. Okay? Very, very, very easy. It's very easy to enable yourself into making decisions that are not healthy for you. I'm looking at this card and remembering that the first time I quit drinking, I was like, cool, I'm good. And then I was going to hang out with family. And it's like, well, I can have a drink because I'm happy. And then I slipped into a whole nother, like, chunk of drinking. Like, I wasn't looking where I was going. I was like, okay, well, I'm not upset anymore. I'm not angry anymore, so I can do this. It's like, no, you have not addressed the root issue, right? You have to look at the root issue. You have to look at your part in things. You have to pay attention to what's in front of you. Again, slow down. When we see sevens in a reading, there's too much happening. Things are moving too fast. There was already a 7 of Pentacles out here. Why are you trying to make something happen so fast? You don't need to. Stop. Stop. Put the swords down. Look around. Find out where you are. And then just carry one sword. You only need one. You don't need 900. The final card in that support area is the King of Cups. And again, this goes for every group 1, 2, and 3 as well. That King of Cups is the master of his emotions. He is not being ruled by his emotions. Not at all. He knows that he is and that the emotions are. Like, they're just expressions. So if the King of Cups is feeling sad, it doesn't mean that he is sad. He's just feeling sad. Okay? If you are stressed, it means that you're feeling stressed, but you yourself are not stressed. Your words have power. You can say, I don't have a lot of money right now, but don't say I'm poor. Don't say I'm broke, because you aren't. You are wealthy. You are infinitely, abundantly wealthy. There is nothing that you don't or can't have, except for what's not meant to be for you. So be very careful about taking possession of your feelings and identifying yourself with your feelings versus acknowledging them, feeling them, expressing them, and then releasing them, okay? That's a huge thing that I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. I am an empath, and I have like 900 Pisces placements. Like, all I do is feel and cry half the time. And it really took a long time for me to learn that I had a whole long history of saying, I'm tired, I'm too tired, I'm broke, I'm poor, I hurt. No. Nope. None of these things own you. The only thing that you are is divine and perfect. And you have to pay taxes because we're humans on Earth. So, we're going to breeze through the last cards really quick so I can try to make this 40 minutes. At the bottom, we have the King of Wands. That's what's coming up. I do see a lot of people stepping into their power, a lot of people stepping into purpose and ideals. So if this is you, embody whatever role you're at. Group 1, 2, or 3, beginner to adept. Embody whatever this new level of mastery is for you. The outside circumstances or external circumstances, how people might see you. Also, we have the World. So again, something is coming to a close. Something has fully happened. This is like the ten of Swords for the whole world, or the 10 of Swords, I guess, for America rather, because America is not the world. Unfortunately, it's really hard to root out that America-centric idealism they shove into your brain from a young age. But there is a whole lot changing right now, and you are coming to a point of completion, and you'll be looking different to yourself and to other people because of what you've learned. In hopes and fears, we have Temperance. Please bring balance into your life. Do not fear balance. Today, a big theme has been rest, like I said, and for so long I feared that I wasn't working enough, especially now that I work from home. I'm not doing enough. I'm not running around 8 hours a day. You're doing enough. Don't fear rest. Don't fear being enough. Don't fear being supported. At the same time, pour into yourself in healthy ways. Our last card, because I love you guys, and I low-key, I feel like I had one other video to take, so we're going to be quick here. The last card is the Page of Swords. That was on the kind of like what's coming up point. So that Page of Swords, we're going forward, we're digging into, not digging into, what's the word I want to say? Because it's not digging, it's for real tackling, like she's swinging. We're clearing away. That's what it is. We're clearing away. We are clearing away. We are way clearers. So, yeah. I don't even have anything else to say there. I'm super hot now because I always get hot doing readings. And I love you guys. And I hope that this was helpful. And I'll see you later. Okay, I love you. Bye.